Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Lars and today I want to talk about how to make a to-do list that actually helps you to get things done. Unfortunately, not all to-do lists are created equally, and today I want to share my thoughts on why this is the case. Now, a to-do list is a must for anyone who takes their projects and goals seriously and who wants to get things done. I have created a list of 5 critical musts that your to-do list needs to follow in order to get things done, and I want to share these with you today. The first criteria is that your to-do list needs to contain actions, things you need to do, and only that. Now this might seem obvious, but a lot of people are actually not getting this one quite right, and it's very understandable, because it can be a bit tricky. Your to-do list should be an index of things you need to do, meaning actions that are measurable and specific. Your list should not be full of thoughts, ideas, inspiration, other kinds of plans. While these are important, and you probably want to write these one down and save them somewhere else, these should not go into your to-do list. So when you are going through all of your notes and all your plans, thoughts and ideas, you need to identify exactly what you need to do, actions you need to take, and write those down in your list. All of your to-dos share a certain pattern, and they should all start with active verbs like look over, talk to, read, continue with, and so on. It's important that they are active and not passive. And it's also very important that they are physical actions, things that you can actually do. I think one of the main reasons why people procrastinate and is having a difficult time starting is because they lack specific actions. If your actions are not specific enough, not concrete enough, then you don't actually know what you have to do. And it's really difficult to start doing something when you don't know what it's supposed to be. Now you might have an action on your to-do list that sounds something a lot like finish writing that report. Now while this is okay, strictly speaking, this is an outcome and not an action. How are you going to finish writing that report? What is the next step? A better way of wording your action is open up the report file and start drafting key points that I need to cover. Be as specific as you have to do in order to get started, and keep looking over your list to see what are the actions I keep postponing and why. Are they concrete enough, or am I still not sure what I have to do to get started? The second criteria is that your list has to be relevant, and this comes in 2 parts. Firstly, all of the tasks on your to-do list needs to be the first and next physical action that you need to do for each of your projects, and that's it. You don't need the second, the third, or the 4th step, only the first. I mentioned this earlier, but it's really important that all your actions are very specific and that they are physical. At the end of the day, all of your actions are supposed to create some sort of change in the world, so they have to be physical, something you do that changes reality. It is important that you keep your to-do list relevant in this way, because if you fill it up with a lot of tasks, your list will look a lot more overwhelming than it has to be, and it will be difficult for you to choose what task to begin with. The main purpose of a to-do list is to help you remember what you need to do and to help you to get started. And as long as you have the first task available, then you will quickly get into the rhythm and remember the second or the third, or they would just come naturally as you work. It is easy to fill up your to-do list with a lot of things that you need to do sometime or another, but if you don't keep your list relevant, it will just become overwhelming and it will become very difficult to start. By all means, you can make a list of milestones and other tasks that you want to accomplish one time or another, but these are things you can keep in your project resources, different notes that you can go through later to figure out what the next step is. If you want to keep your to-do list relevant and then functional, you need to stick with only having the next physical action. Secondly, I recommend that you split your list up into individual, smaller, contextualized lists. This is one of my favorite tips from David Allen's Getting Things Done, and has truly been a game changer for me. When I'm at the grocery store, I don't need to think about what I have to do when I get to the office, and when I'm at the office, I don't want to think about what I have to do when I get home. In most cases, you can split your list up into 3 main categories: places, people, or technology, or tools. Examples of location or places can be at the office, at home, or downtown. Example of people can be your boss, your colleagues, a friend, your partner, your lawyer, your accountant, and so on. Examples of tools or technology can be a computer with internet, your mobile phone, your dishwasher, and so on. The third criteria is that your to-do list needs to be easily accessible. As you are going to have actions with different people and different places, you need to have a list that you can take with you. It also needs to be easy to find and needs to be easy to open, because if it's not, you will not trust it and you will probably not use it. Where you want to keep your lists is completely up to you. Some people like to use small notepads like this that fits in your pocket. I used to use one of these earlier. Other people like to use larger notepads like these, which you can have in your backpack. My personal favorite is a mobile app that can sync with my computer. The fourth criteria is that you also need a list that contains what you're waiting for that others need to do. Sometimes you delegate tasks to others and they have to finish before a deadline, so in order to be sure that they do, you might want to follow up. Or you're working on a project with other people and they have to finish their part before you can do your part. In both of these cases, you need to wait for other people to finish their part, and to be sure that the project doesn't stop or that you can finish in time, you need to follow up. Make sure that this doesn't slip between your fingers. While waiting is not an action, you need to have this as a part of your to-do list to make sure that nothing important slips away. I use this as a fourth category of a contextualized list. So my to-do list contains of people, places, tools, and follow-up. I use my follow-up list to keep tabs on what I'm waiting for and what I might want to follow up on later. I strongly recommend that you have a follow-up list, as it gives you even more control and predictability, and it's a great addition to your to-do list, which makes it even more reliable. The fifth and last criteria is that my to-do list needs to prioritize actions that make a high impact on my projects. And this is perhaps the most important one, or at least the most time-saving one. Time is a valuable resource, and unfortunately, it's a non-renewable one. For many years, I didn't really think about this, and I just did whatever seemed relevant to my project, but I didn't really accomplish anything. I did a lot of work, but nothing happened. Very few things that I did made an impact and took me that extra mile. Your to-do list should contain actions that make a large impact, and if you haven't written down your goals yet, or even better, a mission statement and a vision statement of what you want your life to be about, then I suggest you do that very, very soon. This is a great compass to make relevant projects and high impact actions, which will help transform those goals and that vision into reality. So to wrap up this video, the 5 criteria that I think every to-do list needs to contain is the next physical action for every project. It needs to be relevant, easy accessible, it needs to include a follow-up list, it needs to contain actions that make a high impact. That's it for today. If you want more content like this, then like, comment, and subscribe. And remember to tap that bell to be notified of future updates. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.